And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time question, comments, and stuff. Episode 5.
Wow. Scared me.
Sorry.
Welcome along. We're going to do a Q&A episode this week. And here are the questions and some answers.
And stuff. First question is from Robert Menzies again. Robert. Hey, Robert. What do you guys look for in an amp? What makes a good or bad amp? And do you prefer combo or separate amp and cabinet?
For me, it's a practicality thing, whether it's a combo or a head and cab thing.
Yes.
For the studio, I really like the head because I can have heads. You can probably see them in the... Oh, there it is, under the computer. And then I have a cab in a separate room.
Two there too.
Oh, yeah. So we can crank up the speakers in another room and you actually hear what you're recording through the microphones in the studio monitors. So it's a practical thing that way.
Yep.
Live, don't really have a preference. However, what I look for is some 3-dimension. With amps that are kind of, I don't want to say cheaper, but generally cheaper or lesser quality, I find they're kind of 2-dimensional this way. Does that make sense?
No.
Particularly in a clean tone. If how to describe that? There's a 3-dimensional quality that I look for in an amp, and it's kind of hard to describe what it is. But if it gives me that, then I like it.
Like a PV Rage.
Like that. But that's like 1/2 dimensions.
Okay, for me personally, I used to always be a combo guy. But again, since I do the studio thing more, and so live now mostly just go direct in. I play things like the HX Stomp, which I quite like, just going direct in and less lugging and stuff. And usually it's my PA as well, so I know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
In the studio, I like heads now because of the same reason. So you can have the heads there, and we use that amp switcher. Can you see? Oh yeah, that Mozztronics Amp Switcher that's there now. I've got one of them too, and that way you can have all the heads going into, in my case, they go into different 2-note Torpedo, like cab sim stuff. But it just makes life much easier. Live, I used to be a combo guy just because it's easier to carry one thing than carry multiple things around. Yeah. But yeah, now it's live. It's all direct,
Sure.
basically. And
It's like a Panda.
love a Panda. Thank you. Oh.
We just went to the Japanese grocer after lunch. Got a bit of pandas. Yeah. What was the other part of the question?
So part 2 of the same question by Stefan Stuko. Hi, Stefan. Adding nuance to Robert's question, what would be your go-to amp as a pedal platform for fuzzes, delays, and such? Thanks for your riffs, and Gabor, that pedal idea, in my opinion, sounds like a job for Jupiter Effects. I need to get in touch with Jupiter Effects. I think I would really like their stuff.
Yep.
I'm sort of quite often now in touch with what's his name? No, with I can't think of his name now, but from Bagley Guitars, who does the aluminium neck, and then the same workshop, the share workshop. Cool. Dirk, that's his name, Dirk Bagley, because he makes the aluminium neck, but he also makes pickups. So he makes Haven pickups, and we're going to get some Haven pickups sent to us. So I've had a few emails back and forth with him, but never with Jupiter Effects. I really should, because I think I would really like it. But okay, so Alex,
Pedal platform amp.
played for fuzzes, delays, and such.
I think for me, for fuzzes, I really like the Voxy type thing, like the matchlessy Vox type thing.
That one, the creme brulee.
It's a creme brulee from Cherry Tone. Having that bit more mid-range there is beneficial as opposed to a Fender type amp, which is generally a bit scooped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or, yes, probably something that isn't Fender.
For me, the amp, when it's fuzzes or heavy distortion, I always go for at my place, is the Marshall.
Yeah.
The Origin. To me, it just brings out the pedal the best out of them all.
Do you think that's a mid-range thing too? Like
Possibly, yeah.
There you go.
It's just the way that, or actually, I think really good amp platform, pedal platform amp is the Rev D20.
Oh yeah.
because it's a very neutral sound, but it's I think it's neither mid-focused nor scooped. It's a very flat EQ, the D20, which is, I think makes it good as well. But I quite like that. But like at my place, generally the Marshall Origin 50 head is the one I always go into. With delays, I don't think it really necessarily makes that much of a difference.
Not so much.
I'm pretty much 99% of the time a pedal drive guy, so I always put delays in front of the amp. The cool thing with having the studio set up the way I have it set up with all 2-note stuff is I actually have a patch bay. The way I've got one of my patch bays, someone actually asked about the patch bay. We need to do a run through that. But the way I've got one of the patch bays set up is I've got the guitar signal from the 2 notes coming out, and then it goes into I can plug it into the interface, right, via that. But the whole point of me doing that is so I can actually plug any of my rack stuff in between that. So it's basically after the speaker, like post-speaker simulation. So when I do use the angle and stuff and I want some delay, I do it that way.
Cool.
But delays and stuff. I mean, for cleans with delays, like ambient-y stuff, my Fender Bass Breaker 15, that's a beautiful amp with the reverb on it as well. I love the sound of that. Actually, that with the Rev D20, I do it sort of hard panned left and right, like a stereo sort of setup.
Yep.
But for fuzzes, just and like heavy distortions, the Marshall just to me sounds much better than all the other amps. And cranked, so I've got it fairly cranked, the Marshall. It's clean, but broken up clean because it's that sort of amp.
There you go.
Okay, so thank you, Robert and Stefan, for the questions.
Thanks, Panda.
So while he's eating his panda, we had a question from Sub333. As a guitar effects noob, I'd love to know how why arrange your effects chain in a certain way. Are there any golden rules, things to avoid? If you could do an idiot's guide to this in a new video, that would be ace. And I think I did reply actually saying, oh, that sounds like a great idea. We'll do a video on it. But as for stacking pedals, there isn't really a right or a wrong. I mean, everyone always says, put your wah first or right at the front. But then you have a guy like Tom Morello who puts his wah and all pedals into the effects loop. Sure. And that's how he gets that, if you listen to a song like Bulls on Parade, that's how he gets a really over-the-top wah sound. And when he does the DJ scratchy stuff on the guitar, he turns his wah on and leaves it on the treble side.
Yep.
And again, it's overemphasized because it's after the preamp in his, because I think he uses a JCM 800. I think that's
Is it Marshall? Okay, I'm not sure.
He uses a Marshall head.
Yeah.
And he runs it in the effects loop of that. And that's how he gets that over crazy sound. But I mean, all up, people would say put your wah in front of drives, but there isn't really a right or a wrong.
Like, technically, I think there's a sort of a good starting point. And then once you know the rules, then you can break them, kind of thing.
Yeah. And
know why you're breaking them is probably more important. So generally, if you put things like filters first, like auto wahs, manual wahs, and compression, that kind of stuff.
Well, compression, again, it depends what you want to do with it.
Yes, sure. I'd probably start before drives.
Yeah. Well, I usually do that.
And then if you want to move around the chain afterwards, that's cool. Then, or drive stages, it's personal preference whether you want to go high to low gain or vice versa.
So what do you usually do?
It really depends on the pedal board at the time, like how the pedals are voiced.
Okay.
Like which one stacks better into the others.
Okay.
So drives and fuzzes, that's kind of in one bracket, and then I'd go into modulation.
Depends. Yeah, I would put some modulation before the drives.
Again, this is where, if you know the rules, so whatever's going to come after sounds like emphasizes what you've already got.
Yeah.
So then you modulate your distorter sound. But if you really want a crazy modulator sound, you put it before the distortion.
Yeah.
So it blows up your modulation.
Distortion amplifies the modulation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then after modulation, whatever you want to call that, phases, flanger,
choruses,
vibrato, tremolo. Then go into time-based stuff, which is delays and reverbs, or reverbs, delays. Again, whatever you
Or
like
if
sound
you
of.
Stefan from the pedal zone, reverb into delay, into delay, into reverb, into reverb, into delay.
Yeah. And then the second board of delay.
And then the second part, yeah, well, that's only the first part of delay.
Yeah, so that's the kind of, I think that's the ballpark starting point.
Mm.
And then once you try all that, then you know why things do what they do to each other.
Yeah. But we should do a video on it.
I think so.
We will do a video on it. But thank you for the question. I'll have to turn it off. Sub 333. Next question is from Erland Erantem. I hope I said that right. Erland Erantem, let's say, because it's German. So Erland Erantem. Your own dream band. Which musicians would you like to have in your band? You can choose any musician, dead or alive. Also, question for Pirate Alex.
Oh, yes.
What do you like better, South Pacific or Caribbean?
Well, in my time on the seas, I'm going to have to say...
I'm going to keep checking that it doesn't go out of focus with that again.
Well, I haven't been to the Caribbean.
You haven't?
No. Have you?
No.
Mm.
We live in the South Pacific.
Yes.
So just say South
South
Pacific.
Pacific.
Yeah.
What was the other thing about bananas or something? Oh, the band.
Band, dream band. Which musicians would you like to have in a band? You can choose any dead or alive.
Okay, let's start with the rhythm section. Drums and bass.
Okay, you first.
Favorite drummer of all time? Go.
Vinny Caliuta.
Oh, nice.
I need someone who can do odd time signatures.
Sure. That makes sense.
Or Terry Bozzio. Yeah, go Bozzio.
Yeah?
So we don't have any room for anyone else on the stage.
Whoa. I'll have to go Steve Gadd? No, I've gone blank. What's his name? From Toto.
Or Picaro.
Yes.
Or as in dead. Oh, yeah, dead. Picaro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Steve? Steve Picaro?
Jeff and...
Jeff Picaro. Is Jeff Jeff was the drummer. Jeff
There's
Picaro.
two of them. There's brothers, aren't they?
Yeah, and the other one died as well, didn't he?
I don't know.
I don't know. The drummer Picaro.
Drummer Picaro. Bass player.
You know what? Actually,
Hmm.
a drummer I really like listening to. Okay, so it depends on what you do with the drummer. Like Vinny Caliuta or Bozzio, if you're doing kind of very quirky stuff.
Yep.
But if you want to do more straightforward stuff, but have a really interesting beat and make it really sound really interesting, Carter Beaufort.
Yes.
Dave Matthews Band.
Yes.
If you listen to the songs, they're very I think the drums make the band.
Oh, yeah. It's Carter Beaufort.
He makes... I mean, the songs are good, but I reckon if you put a different drummer to it, who just plays...
Yes.
It would be just... He just puts so many nuances in his playing. I really dig his playing.
Okay.
Carter Beaufort.
Bass player.
Okay, favourite bass player. Okay, if we're doing the quirky stuff... Okay, let's say if we have Bozzio,
Yep.
I'm going to go for Les Claypool.
Ah, nice. Excuse me.
Although he could be a little bit too... He needs to know his place, that I'm the leader of the band.
Sure.
Clay, let's say Les Claypool. Why not?
Favorite bass players? Probably Duck Dunn. Or...
Chicken Done?
Maybe even Nathan East.
Ooh.
Or Lee Sklar.
Okay, well, he does everything,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
He's the man.
What's the dude with the stick? Bald guy?
Petrucci?
No, not Petrucci.
Petrucci.
Not Petrucci. No, he's the
Yeah.
super cool dude. No. With the stick bass guy, who also, like, Leland Sklar played with, like, guys like Peter Gabriel and... What's his name? It'll be done here. Anyway. I was thinking of another bass player just before that I really like. Pino Palladino.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a cool bass player to have.
Yes.
Um,
We just had a band of bass players.
band of bass players. No, I mean, again, depending on what... Okay, the band with Bozzio, I'd go Les Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
The band with...
You can only have one band.
I'm multiple personality disorder.
It's better.
The band with Bozzio, Les Claypool, the band with Carter Beaufort, Peanut Palladino, and the band with Vinny Caliuta, I'd go Joe Dart.
Yeah, right.
He's cool. I like his playing.
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack
Yeah.
bass player. Okay, we've got a rhythm section for my three bands.
Okay. Keys.
Keyboards.
Yes.
You go first.
I've forgotten his name.
Mozart. Rachmaninoff. He's in my band with Les Claypool.
The dude that plays with Snarky Puppy and what's his name? Is it Corey?
Corey Wong is a guitar player.
No,
For Wolfpack.
no, not him. Anyway, possibly him, or could be John Cleary on keys. That'd be fun too.
Okay.
Or Dr. John. Pretty interesting band. Yeah. Your turn. I'll eat a panda.
Okay, the one with Les Claypool and Terry Bozzio. You know what? I'll have Mike Keneally. This is turning into somewhat a Frank Zappa band. Mike Keneally's insane keyboard player, but can also play stupidly good guitar and stuff. Total sidetrack thing. I went to see Steve Vai ages ago. What was that EP he released? Bad Horsey. The Bad Horsey tour.
Right.
And Mike Keneally was playing keys and guitar. And they were doing like 3-way harmony solos.
Yeah.
Where Keneally was tapping and keys, harmonizing to himself, and then harmonizing to Steve Vai.
Sure.
Freaks.
Great.
And like tricky stuff.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen that Steve Vai video now? Because he's got shoulder issues and thumb surgery, and the whole thing was just left just as 4 fingers hammer on. Crazy people. Okay, so that band with Les Claypool, that's going to be a wild band.
Also
Keneally on keys and guitar, Les Claypool on bass, and Terry Bozzio on drums.
Okay. Do you want percussion?
I don't know enough percussionists.
Okay. What about horn players?
Just go to Tower of Power horn section. That'll do. That'll do a good job regardless.
They already know each other. That's cool. Got the gig. Vocalists?
Vocalist? Mike Patton. Gotta have Mike
Oh, yeah?
Patton. That's
Cool.
my go.
Cool.
Okay, but maybe one of the other bands, because the band with Joe Dart and Vinnie Colaiuta, that's a more funky band.
Sure.
I'm going to have Bernie Worrell on keys. He's Parliament keyboard player.
Sure.
And as a singer there, you need... is it Corey Glover? The Living Colour dude.
Sure.
Living Colour singer.
Yeah.
That's a cool funk band. Like funk, soul, R&B kind of style band. With Bozzio... with Bozzio, Bernie Worrell, and Les Claypool, I have Mike Patton.
You might need Aretha Franklin on BBs. BBs.
BBs.
That's blasphemy, I know. BBs.
And for the band with Carter Beaufort and Pino Palladino.
Yeah. Silly. You're silly.
I'm silly.
Says me.
Yeah. I'm going to have... Oh, wow. Who am I going to have for that band as a singer? That's sort of the more pop thing. But I think I'm going to make it like a slightly proggy pop thing.
Right.
So I need someone... I'll go Patton again. Patton can do it all, so...
Okay.
Mike Patton.
I'm just going to get Stevie Wonder to sing.
Oh, he could play keys too. He'd be good in the funky band.
Okay. Do you want other guitarists?
Sure. Me first. Oh, crap. Okay. Okay. So for the funky band...
Yep.
With Corey Glover singing, and I forgot who the other people are, but for the funky band, rhythm guitarist, I'm going to go for... what's the guy's name? Motown guy.
Elvis.
No, he wasn't Motown. What's his name? Something Junior.
Harry Connick.
No, he's a piano player.
I know.
He'd be cool too, actually.
He would actually be cool.
No, what's his name? Ray Parker Jr. That's right.
Cool. Nice.
Great guitar player for the funky stuff.
Wow.
So that's for the funky band.
Mm-hmm.
For the slightly proggy poppy band with Carter Beaufort, Pino Palladino, and Mike Patton.
Yeah.
I'd get What's his face? The English guy with the frizzy hair.
Brian May.
No, the other English guy with the frizzy hair and a beard. Plays in the Aristocrats. Stupidly good guitar player too.
Gone blank.
Yeah, I've gone blank too. But you know that guy. I've got to put the name. Oh God, my brain.
Yelling at the screen right now.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name? I posted a video of him in the studio doing a stupidly good solo the other day too. First take.
Right.
Yeah. Because he plays with that other English guy, that proggy dude.
It's getting vague.
It's getting very vague. Okay, no, and then I've got the Frank Zappa band.
Oh yeah, there's more.
I'll get Frank Zappa. That's he knows all the guys in that band anyway.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Frank Zappa with Mike Patton.
Yeah,
Just
wow.
for that.
That'd be neat.
Yeah.
What was the question? Guitar players?
Second guitar player.
I'll
Look up who the guy is while you do that.
Second guitar player. You have to choose one, hey?
Yes.
I think I'm going to go Mark Lettieri.
Ooh, yeah, for the funky band, that would be great.
But he can do like the baritone Texas rock stuffy thing too. That'd be fun.
The Aristocrats.
Or we can do this like weird sort of blues rock country jazz thing and have Mark Lettieri and George Benson.
George Benson. But he'd want to be the leader of the band.
That's cool. I'm going to need some more pandas. The whole box.
Guthrie Govan, that's right.
Right.
We're into the proggy, stupidly good stuff.
Hello, panda.
Hello, Panda. Okay, so does that kind of answer the question? That was actually kind of fun thinking of it, but
fun.
yeah, well that. And then hang on, there was another part to the question.
Even if you don't play in the band, that'd be fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, the Bosio band, that I'd go for that. And then okay, so that's from Erland Erantem. And also PS, is there any original music from either of you, and where do I find it? Lieben Gruß aus Germany. Spelled phonetically like Henning's HP42 aus Germany.
No. Your
Grüße
answer?
aus Australien.
Sorry, 9.
9? I have actually, I'll put a link to it. A friend of mine just kind of unearthed a whole bunch of really old music that I was involved with in the 90s and put it all on, I think, Reverb Nation or SoundCloud or one of those. I'll put a link below. So this is from the 90s, mind you, so...
Olden days.
There's also a song that we did this video, I'll link the video here. It was the video on putting a song up with DistroKid. And it's a song I co-wrote and kind of produced, I guess, with my friend Alicia. She's a fantastic singer and musician. And actually, we recorded the vocals in here.
You did, yeah.
Vocals were recorded here. I'll put a link to that below as well. But other than that, I would like to now... I found... I have an old laptop, right? Like... Cool. Quite old. I think I got in the 90s as well. Like my first sort of my computer that I bought when I went to uni. And that has a whole... I found it ages ago. The battery was all swollen up in it. And I took the battery out. And I thought, that's a laptop. I get a battery someday. I never gotten a battery. But I worked out since you can still plug the power in. And it runs, but it runs at it doesn't work as well. Like the processing power's a bit lower without the battery in it. But you can still run it. And it had a whole bunch of songs on it that I completely forgot that I recorded, like song ideas and stuff.
Nice.
From the late 90s, early 2000s, maybe. And I'm picking a bunch of them now, and I want to do more tracks for our channel. So, for example, when we're doing video reviews of like guitars and stuff, to do a track at the start, I'm going to start using those old songs.
Cool.
And re-record them. I actually am just working on one for the video for this guitar. I'm working on a track, and it's all GarageBand. I used to use GarageBand for that all the time with everything, and I got all the separate tracks and put them into Logic now, and I can't remember at all what I used to record it, but the effects on the guitar sound really cool.
Right, cool.
But I don't remember what it is, and I got to try kind of recreate it. There's a reverse delay, and most likely it was the Backtalk by Dan Electric, because I think that was the only reverse delay I had in those days.
Cool.
But anyway, yeah, so there will be more tracks. There will be more tracks. So thank you for your question. So we also had a question from LTCM, and he asked, "What car?" Okay, so this is the video of the Pure Sky when we did the Pure Sky video. You can watch that. There's a link there. What chords are you playing from 4:29 to 5 minutes? You guys took the camera off the guitar and put it on the pedal. Especially the chord at 4:48 is so juicy. Okay, so quickly, this is something
Juicy chord.
It's an old kind of track that I've recorded ages ago, and I use it quite often because I like the chords. So the chords I was playing, I think possibly this guitar, it's a C sus2 chord. So where you don't have the minor or the major, it's a sus2 chord. Going to a D sus2 chord, and then it goes to an E minor, but you kind of make it a suspended chord, but I call it the police chord.
Oh yeah.
It's where it's actually, is it called would it be an E minor add 9? Because that's a ninth, isn't it? It's a 9.
Oh, there, sorry, yep. Yeah.
So it'd be an E minor add 9, I suppose. So you go from that C suspended second, D suspended second, let's call it E minor add 9. It's police chord. Pretty much, you know, every breath you take, all this, it's always that. Anyway, let's not play too much of that. And then the juicy chord, and I think it does it a few times. The juicy chord is this, which I think is, you would call it an A7 add 11.
What are you adding? A D?
You're adding, yeah, D.
It's 4, but it could be depends on your outlook in life, really.
Well, that's a minor 11th chord, isn't it? So that would be an A minor 11.
Yeah.
And that's just a major version of it.
Dominant 7th, yeah.
With a dom.
It's a dominant 7, not a major 7.
Oh yeah, no, but that's the major. That's the third.
Yeah, but you got to. The 7s are still a.
Yeah, it's a dominant 7. That's what I mean. What did I say?
Major 7.
Did I say major 7? I meant dominant 7. Yes, okay. Yes. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's like a. Well, that's a minor 11th. It would be an A minor 11th, and all you're doing is making a minor third a major third. So it's not technically an 11th chord because you need a 9th in it for an 11th chord, don't you?
I don't know if you need it in there, but that's how you make it.
So let's call it, it's either an 11th chord or a
add 11?
7 add 11, like an A7 add 11. Yeah. But it's this basically, it's a, I don't know if you can sort of see it. So I'm on the 5th fret, then skip the A string, 5th fret, 6th fret, 3rd fret, and then skip the E.
Yeah.
I mean, you could technically add the E in it. Because the E is just the 5th.
It is, yeah.
So you could add the E into it. Those are the chords. I think that was all the chords. Oh, and then after that, there's another bit I go to. Then I play, and they're just minor 11th chords. So I play F sharp minor 11 to a G sharp minor 11th, yes. So it's that, I do that often as well. It's that E thing to an F sharp minor, to a G sharp minor, to that A major-y thing. Anyway, that's that. So thank you, LTCM.
Cheers.
And so one thing we haven't really been doing in this, because it's questions, comments, and stuff, is read out some comments. So here's a comment. Claudiones de Bologna. Hello, Claudiones de Bologna said, I just cannot believe you have around 16,500 subscribers. Mediocre playing at best.
Thanks for keeping our views up.
Thank you. Yes. Cheers. And commenting is always good. It means more people see what we do. So thank you, Claudiones de Bologna. And lastly, we have a comment from Hayden Anderson. Hello, Hayden.
G'day.
You two are so freaking boring. You talk too much, too bloody much. Just get on with it.
You'll love this video then.
Yeah. And you're right at the end too, so you have to sit through all the other stuff. But thank you, Hayden Anderson. And again, thank you for commenting on our video and making the YouTube algorithms like our videos more. Thank you so much. And that's it for the questions, comments, and stuff. Thank you so much to everyone for the questions and the comments. Don't forget, if you want to ask Pirate Alex a question, it'll be on Instagram again soon. I'll put it up with a lovely picture of Alex in the hat. If you have any questions, leave them below. Thanks to everyone who does this kind of stuff and watches this and is kind of...
Oh, links below to Instagram, Facebook, and our podcast. Check them out if you've got some time and want to check out more of the stuff we do. And thanks for watching. See you soon.